Boxing has a Jared Anderson problem. The heavyweight division is currently in a bad way, but a 6'4", 240-pound 24-year-old with a 94% knockout rate is looking to make his name and face all the big boys of the division. Jared "Big Baby" Anderson is America's hottest heavyweight prospect, and by the age of 27, he plans to send all the current champions on their way to retirement. Anderson was born on November 16, 1999, in Toledo, Ohio, the town that produced the likes of Robert Easter Jr. and Lindell Holmes, both former champions. But the town has never produced a heavyweight as dangerous as Big Baby. Anderson started boxing at the age of 8 after he began having issues in school and resorted to acting out and fighting. But as soon as he realized his potential and the financial benefits pro boxing could bring, he began to dedicate himself to the sport. He found himself competing in the U.S. National Championships, where he ended up winning the 2017 and 2018 gold medals. From there, he got noticed by scouts and Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum, and subsequently signing to his top-ranked promotional company. Jared racked up some serious achievements as an amateur and even made it to the Olympic trials when he was just 19. He made his long-awaited pro debut against Daniel Infante in October 2019 and wasted no time at all. 54 seconds into the first round, Anderson landed a monster left hook to the body. It stopped Infante in his tracks and unquestionably announced the arrival of Big Baby onto the heavyweight stage. Having suffered no damage in his debut, Anderson was ready to get back in the ring just a month later against Andrew Satterfield. Just as ferocious as his first fight, he exhibited his ability to stay in the pocket without taking much damage. He threw a great combo jab, establishing it early and applying a ton of pressure. It was only a matter of time before he landed a killer left uppercut that knocked Andrew Satterfield to the ground before the first round was even halfway over. Jared had a busy 2020, fighting 5 more times despite the pandemic bringing a lot of the sporting world to a standstill. He raced to a perfect 6-0 record, knocking out all of his opponents in highlight reel style. In June 2020, he faced off against Johnny Langston, and for the first time in his pro career, he went past the first round in a fight. Langston was no pushover, but he just couldn't stand up to the combos that Anderson was dishing out. Langston was eventually stunned by an uppercut and then finished with a left hook that forced the referee to call off the fight.
Trying to land an uppercut, see if he can close the show. Langston does not look good at all.
Incredibly, just 1 month later, Big Baby faced off against Hector Perez and again displayed his great jab, making use of his 6'6" reach to great advantage. He fought behind the jab before opening up with his right hand, and when he did, he unleashed on Perez, knocking him out about halfway into the first round.
Hands to the body from Anderson. And a knockdown scored halfway through round 1. And a mighty big smile.
Next up for the 20-year-old Anderson was Rodney Hernandez. In this fight, he paced himself, recognizing he needed more ring time to sharpen his skills. Instead of rushing to end it, he took his time, dropping his guard and throwing relaxed jabs until he spotted the perfect opening and seized on it.
The left of his own before retreating and eating a big left hand from the real Big Baby, who scores the knockdown there.
With 2020 coming to an end, Anderson came up against Luis Pina and wasted no time in getting him out. He noticed early on that Pina was employing a high guard. Anderson targeted the body. Soon enough, Pina stopped fighting back before the referee called the fight off.
Punching bag right now for Anderson.
You gotta do something, kid. You gotta do something.
You hear the voice of Ortega, the referee, saying, Pena, you've got to do something. Absolutely no reason for this fight to continue.
There was no reason for the fight to continue. Anderson maintained the great start to his pro career. In 2021, Anderson elevated his game to a whole new level. In February, he fought Kingsley Ibe, a Nigerian heavyweight that promised to be his toughest test. In round 1, Anderson quickly found his range with the jabs. Ibe's clumsy approach couldn't stand up to Anderson's sharp and accurate strikes. Anderson absolutely dominated the fight, winning by a devastating knockout in the 6th round.
Big guy, former football player, 6'4", 276, and he's absorbing a lot of punishment, and a big left hand will end the night.
Just 2 months later, Big Baby took on Jeremiah Carpensy. Carpensy resisted as much as he could, but ultimately he wasn't up to Anderson's attack, resulting in yet another knockout victory for the heavyweight talent. In his 10th fight and for his 10th win, Anderson faced off against the undefeated Russian, Vladimir Tereshkin, who boasted a 4-fight streak of knockouts. The vacant NABF junior heavyweight title was up for grabs, and Anderson came into the fight aggressively, quickly overpowering Tereshkin with a relentless assault. This ultimately led the referee to call an end to the fight in the second round.
Made by Tereshkin. Possibly he is badly hurt.
Tereshkin should hold.
Bayless says that's it. He did not.
Rounding off 2021, Anderson fought Alexander Slenko, a Ukrainian with an impressive 17-1 record with 12 wins coming by KO. Slenko showed resilience, but Anderson was the sharper, faster, and more powerful fighter. Taking no time to warm up, Anderson landed some shots, but when he settled down and started setting things up, he showed the difference between the two. Anderson's combination of speed, strength, and accuracy proved overwhelming, resulting in another second-round knockout victory for him, adding to his already impressive resume. In August 2022, Anderson faced off with Milija Rakonov, a Serbian coming off a 5-fight win streak. Rakonov showed great movement, but Anderson's superior skill set and power led to another dominant victory, extending his undefeated record.
He's fighting though. He's trying to fight back.
It's body shots though from Anderson. Oh my.
Oh, right. Floors Rovkin under 10 seconds ago.
Tougher fights were to come though, and in December 2022, Anderson came up against Jerry Forrest for the vacant WBO International Heavyweight title. Forrest came in with a record of 26 wins and 5 losses, with 20 of his wins being by knockout. He put up a good effort, but again Anderson's relentless pressure and devastating punches proved too much, and he secured another knockout victory.
Pace that he's fighting at.
Oh my God! Comes in. This fight is over.
Early in 2023, Anderson fought Jorge Arias, an undefeated Dominican boxer with an 18-0 record, for the vacant WBC USNBC heavyweight title. Arias came in undefeated. Anderson had to hunt him down by attacking his body, but Anderson's superior skill and power led to another dominant victory after Arias' corner called the fight.
Arias in trouble against the ropes. Right hand comes in. That's it.
Oh, he cut the ring off.
Big Baby then faced the biggest test of his career when he met ex-IBF champion Charles Martin. Anderson had previously finished off all of his opponents, never fighting more than 6 rounds, but that changed against the veteran Martin. Despite Martin's experience and skill, Anderson dominated early but faced adversity as Martin came back strong in the later rounds. The fight went the distance, but Anderson's skill and determination earned him the victory by decision. Despite the tough 10-round battle, Anderson was ready to go again just 2 months later against Andriy Rudenko, another tough Ukrainian boxer who, despite being 39 years old, had only been stopped once. Anderson dominated the fight with his relentless body work and devastating punches upstairs, forcing the referee to stop the fight in the 5th round.
Mix of it. This is a brutal beating that Jared Anderson's putting down, and it ends in a TKO victory in 5.
Less than 4 years into his professional boxing career, Jared Anderson has fought 16 times, with 16 wins and no losses. Bob Arum has wasted no time in likening him to the great Muhammad Ali. Anderson himself, though, would rather not be compared to anyone. Big Baby has shown his personality throughout his short career, especially with his fight night walkouts as Chucky, a chef, and even as a prisoner, a nod to his incarcerated brother. While the Big Baby nickname is something Arum doesn't like, it's something Anderson is not willing to change for anybody. Anderson has also trained and sparred with the WBC champion Tyson Fury, with the American admitting he learned a lot working with the Gypsy King. He had to deny rumors of knocking out Fury, but Anderson is no longer content with being the student. He's coming for all the belts. While Anderson is a physical specimen with heavy power, he does, however, have some holes in his game. He seems to loop his punches and drops his hands when throwing big bombs, in a similar way to Deontay Wilder. Whilst this is stuff he can iron out, he is perhaps not quite ready for Fury, Usyk, and Anthony Joshua just yet. His potential will take him as far as his power allows him to. From one of boxing's most promising prospects to a title contender, the next step in Jared Anderson's rise is clear. He wants the big fights and to become the best, and he's got the mentality to take him all the way. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.